What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the CW Clinic. My name is Chris. I'm your host. I booted Marianne out of the second mic. She is in the room, though. She is doing her thing, producing our 33rd episode. Today, I have a little something special for everyone, and I'm really excited to be able to talk to other business owners, other perspectives on business, other people in, I should say, people in other industries. Considering this is primarily self-development, I've really done a good amount of work trying to gather basically do some networking is really what it comes down to. And gather up some people that really want to be a part of the show and want to offer their opinions and their perspectives and tell you guys a little bit about themselves. And I was fortunate enough to run into our guest that we hear today through networking. And the irony is, being from Guilford, Connecticut myself, my guest, Dave Rusate, is here, and his business recently opened in Guilford.
Guilford, 5 months ago.
5 months ago, Blazing Fresh Donuts.
Correct.
I actually had to double check the name of that because when I think blazing, I always think wings.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it.
Spicy hot and not temperature hot.
Right. Yeah, and I like it being associated with donuts, to be honest with you. And so Dave's here from Guilford, and you're gonna help us with basically just knowledge of business and how to do it and your thought processes on it. And thank you for being here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, first and foremost, thank you. I know the drive out to Seymour isn't exactly very easy.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Do a little bit of zigzag. You kind of got to go left to go right and up to go down, but it's not bad.
Seymour is in an interesting area of Connecticut.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of difficult.
I'm usually not out this way.
No.
But
no,
it's a nice place.
No. I know it could be difficult. My mom drives out here on a weekly basis. My mom works at the gym. And,
oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, so we're a family business.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, we're also Italian.
Those always go well.
Oh, yeah. But anyways, good. You're here, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and just speak freely. Don't worry about filter. We say fucking shit and crap. Check. Yeah. This show is very black and white, much like business.
Gotcha.
Fuck you, it's business.
Yep.
Fuck your feelings, this is business.
Yep.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
I mean, to be in business, you have to be a tough motherfucker.
Yeah.
And if you're not a tough motherfucker, you're out of business.
I always say that if you like your boss, he's probably not a good boss.
Perfect. Actually, Marianne and I had this conversation earlier today. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's a very good piece of advice.
I mean, you could be fair and you could be nice and accommodating to your employees, but at the end of the day, I mean, there's always going to be something that, someone might hate you for or, have some kind of bias toward you from something, whether it's how you spoke to them one day or something. But, that's the bottom line about running a business. You got to do it with an iron fist sometimes,
Yeah. The iron fist and tactfulness has been a skill that I really had to understand.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with a somewhat large staff.
Yeah.
I would consider 60 plus people a large staff.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and coming from only a couple of employees, and then all of a sudden having 60, it was a big learning curve for me. And tact was something that I really had to study.
Yeah.
Because being military, my background is go get the fucking job done.
You can't speak to everybody like a drill sergeant.
Go get the job done. Right. What do you mean you're upset? Okay, I understand that, but if you can't get the job done, I will find someone else that will.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like it, there's the door.
Yep.
And you know what? Sometimes you have to have an iron fist, absolutely. But also there's times where you have to be able to connect with people.
Yeah, you have to learn how to.
Exactly.
You have to learn. It's all about balance. Life's
Yep.
all about balance. Everything's all about balance. You
Yep.
just have to learn how to be both ways. You can't be
Right.
can't be nice all the time. You can't be an asshole.
It's
all the time,
situational.
Yeah, of course.
It's situational.
Yeah.
And owning companies, owning a business, owning companies, operating the business is completely different. A lot of owners aren't operators, or a lot of owners are absentee, especially gym owners.
Yeah.
A lot of gym owners are absentee.
Yeah.
But owning and operating is a whole nother ball of wax, and it's very difficult. And I'm happy to be able to hear your thought process on it. And I think really the first place we should start is what your background is.
Well, so background, I've been in food service and the hospitality business my whole life, ever since I was 15. I was a busboy, I was a waiter, I was a bartender, I was a manager, I cooked in the kitchen. So I've really been fortunate enough to been able to be employed in every position in the restaurant and hospitality industry. So when they came into management, it was much easier to understand and have a better understanding of where my staff was coming from, because I've been in their position, I've been in their shoes. I think a lot of owners talk down to their staff as if they were above them, and I think a lot of that is because they were never like boots on the ground, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like they were never there. You know what I mean? So when if they've been in the weeds, they've been a dishwasher, they understand that. And I think you can approach your staff better when you've been in their shoes and you've seen it. So that was helpful. I'm 31, so you're talking 15, 16 years I've been doing this. Held management positions in 2 different bars. Just didn't kind of work out. Just didn't, the bar life is tough, and it kind of caught up with me after a while.
How's that shit? How's managing restaurants?
It's tough, man. It is absolutely tough. You have to be calm, cool, and collected always, and you have to show it, because you can't break down in front of your staff, because they look to you for leadership, and when you lose their cool, they're going to lose your cool. You have to be reserved at all times. You have to be able to swallow, things from customers, even though you don't like it, and clients, and you have to put on a happy face, and you have to smile, and you have to fake it, sometimes, but it's all part of it.
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Pretty much.
So it didn't work out?
No, it's not that it just didn't work out. I just kind of decided to pursue a different avenue.
Of course.
Because it's really in restaurants and bars is kind of all I knew. So I was like, let me try something different. When I was looking, and that's when Blazing Fresh Donuts started. Jody Burns, who was a financial bigwig on Wall Street, she left the industry because she got burnt out after like 25 years, and she opened up this business. And 3 weeks later, she's like, I really need a partnership. I need someone to help me kind of tag team this deal. And someone had recommended my name to her, said, this kid's got a lot of experience in the business. Give him a call, see what he's doing. And it couldn't have came at a perfect time, because I was looking to get out, and I was looking to kind of like weed my way out of the bar business. There's no kind of life, man. 3 a.m. every morning, working till the weekends.
Oh, I've bartended and done security.
It catches up with you after a while. So
I actually got shot at in New Haven.
Oh, geez.
Leaving at 3 a.m.
Yeah, New Haven's not a fun spot.
Yeah, no, so it is no kind of life.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, I had just come back from Iraq, and I'm walking to my car, and I don't mean to interrupt you,
No.
and 2 groups of people decided to have a dispute shooting at each other while I'm walking to my car. So I'm just reinforcing that you're right, it's no kind of life.
Yeah.
Walking to your car at 3 a.m.
Yeah, no, it's true. So she contacted me, and she said, listen, your name was recommended to me by a friend. Let's sit down and talk. I'm looking to have someone, get into this business with. And I said, great. So we sat down at Starbucks. What was supposed to be a half-hour interview turned into about 3 hours, and just kicked it off from there. And, I started, hit the ground running, and we've been running the operation since then.
So that's been about 5 months?
5 months, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
June 15th was the grand opening.
Isn't it funny how you remember those dates?
Yeah.
Yeah, November 23rd is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be 3 years.
But you forget your girlfriend's anniversary.
Yeah, exactly. Don't want to do that. Now, you don't want to forget the girlfriend's birthday, the anniversary, or the day you will went into business.
Yeah.
Those are big days.
That's true.
Those are sometimes life-changing days,
Yeah.
depending on the circumstances.
Yep.
And so how have the past 5 months been?
Great. It's been great, man. I mean, we're at a point now that we didn't really project us being at least a year or 2 years into the business. I mean, and in this type of business, you shouldn't expect to pull a paycheck for at least the first year. They say you're in the red for 3. So you're still a baby restaurant at 3 years. I mean, at 5 months, we're doing catering. We have custom orders. We have a standing order with a couple local hotels for their brunch. So for Thanksgiving Day, we have 1,000 donuts to make, and we don't even have any phone orders yet.
Wow.
So we have 2 clients that have purchases of each have 500 donuts. So each was about $1,000 order for about 500 donuts, and we're going to be in there about 3 a.m. starting to crank them out.
Good.
Yeah.
Sounds like now, and I'm not taking anything away from you. It sounds like Jody might have some pretty good networking experience.
Yeah, we both do, which is great. She has a great following. She knows a ton of people. I've been very fortunate enough to have a very loyal following in this business. Whether, even when I was waiting tables at 18, I'd have people come in and say, I want Dave to be our waiter. And the reason why is the customer is always first. The customer is always right, and you have to treat every customer as if they are the only one in the room.
Right.
And that's how you get by, and that's how I've been fortunate. And I've sacrificed dollars, and I've sacrificed pennies, and I've sacrificed time, and I've sacrificed patience to make that happen. And people respect that, and they respond to it. And I have a ton of people that have come to see me in Guilford. It's way I grew up in Wallingford.
Mm-hmm.
I currently live in East Haven. I work in Guilford, so I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm quite far from Guilford in a sense, so I have a lot of people that drive all the way up there.
Yeah, Wallingford to Guilford's not a short ride.
No, it's at least a half hour. What's it, 40?
Yeah, half hour with no traffic.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about you, and that's really, really good that they're able to do that. And it's the same thing when people from Guilford come here.
Yeah.
45 minutes. I'm not gonna. What it shows is that you have a loyal following, and that's awesome, and that's phenomenal. Being able to have those kind of opportunities with local hotels and businesses and clients and whatnot, that's huge, and I'm happy that you guys are doing that well 5 months in, because you really don't hear about things like that.
No, and you have to talk. Nobody wants to talk about the pitfalls, and nobody wants to talk about, we were slow this day. You can't pretend that you're busy every day and you're jamming every day, but overall, according to from our business plan perspective, we're doing good. So. And
that's what's important.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and if there's understanding of finance prior to going into the business, and you're doing projections and meeting them already, that's phenomenal.
Right.
And that's cool. That's beautiful. So where in Guilford are you?
We're in 16 Church Street, so we're right at the base of the green. So if you 95 take exit 58 and a right, and we're probably less than a mile down the road. Right on the
Is it by the Congregational Church, the white one?
Yeah, we're right across the street. Isn't
that like a real estate building?
There is. We're right in between it.
Oh.
So there's Pierce, and then there's what's the big one?
There's a coffee shop right there too, isn't it? Common Ground?
Java Hut.
Java Hut?
So Java Hut is, I think their address is 20 Church Street. They used to be Perk on Church. It's this big kind of dome.
Yes.
Looks like a bomb shelter kind of. We're right next door to that. You can't miss us. Calcagney, that's what I was thinking of. So it's Pierce, Calcagney.
Right.
We're smack dab in the middle. Bright yellow storefront. Can't miss it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's cool. Those are like my old stopping grounds, man. That building used to be called Trailblazer, probably in the 90s, and it was like this outdoorsy hiking granola building.
Java Hut?
No, it was called Pierce.
Oh, Pierce, really?
Yeah, it was called Trailblazers. It was like this awesome business that I would just go and spend all my money in when I was like 16.
I know.
You know, and they're no longer here. They were downtown Brantford as well, and I believe they were downtown New Haven at one point too. But it's that typical model. You 1, 2, 3, boom, you're dead.
Yeah.
I think they're in Mohegan Sun now.
Oh, they have one?
They took over Denali, if I'm correct.
No, Denali took them over.
Denali took them over, yeah, but they're in, I think, I saw that their name was there now.
Oh, they're still alive?
I'm pretty sure they are,
Wow,
unless
okay.
they closed down immediately after they opened.
Also possible, but that's cool.
That happens, man. I see businesses do it all the time, and I don't really pay attention to. Obviously, my prime focus is the food industry, and I pay attention to restaurants. And I watch how one location will start and they'll be doing really good, and then they'll start to expand and they'll expand again, and then they just sacrifice in quality for quantity, and then they just, you know, they go under, or not even maybe go under, just their quality suffers. And people know, people can tell, they go out and go, oh, you ever notice how people will say like a chain, or like a small chain, 2 or 3 locations, everyone's like, no, you gotta go to the first one, you gotta go to the original one. You know, then you got the original guys there, the guys that have been there since day one, they're making the same recipes. It's all about consistency.
Yeah, it's like Frank Pepe's pizza, you know, the pizza you get in New Haven and the pizza when you get at Mohegan are 2 different pizzas. They're not the same. Absolutely. I agree with you.
And that's why people are so apprehensive to franchise, because you can't, I mean, you could throw up all the legal paperwork you want, but you're not going to be over your shoulder. You can't be in a million places at once running your operation, but when you have one, I mean, you're there, so you know what's going in and out of your door.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think that's excellent observation on it, but I believe, and I've not franchised, but I believe a business really shouldn't even be thinking about external expansion until their systems are so good in place at the original location that you can implement it in a second location. You know, being owner operators like us though, if I went and opened a second and third gym, I can't physically be in all 3 gyms at the same time, so my systems would have to be pretty fucking good. And it's not as easy as people think. It's much, much more than just raising a couple $1 million and building another gym.
Because those $1 million will go out faster than
you're done. You know, you're done. And what I think a lot of people are beginning to learn by listening to me talk about business and everyone I have on the show is, you know, as a business owner, if you lose control of your product, if you lose control of your company, if you lose control of the culture, you're dead in the water. And a lot of times it doesn't just happen overnight. You bleed slowly. And you bleed slowly, and then if the owner loses everything, all of his assets, you know, you go bankrupt, you lose everything, your assets, everything, cars, houses, money, whatever you have your hands into, you lose everything. So does your employees. They lose their jobs. And a lot of, and I think you mentioned something earlier that really stuck with me was when you're dealing with customers, you let them feel like they are the only customer in the room and they're the most important and so on and so forth. And I agree with that, and it's really easy to be able to understand the customer mindset. It's not easy to understand the owner mindset. It's a much different beast.
Not everybody's been there.
No.
Very few people have been there.
And it also makes me a better customer. Like, I'm an awesome customer now when I go into other businesses because I know both sides. But something that I find very easy to understand about customers in particular is 98% of people think the world revolves around them. And knowing that that's human behavior and understanding how they're going to react to this, you could really do what you need to do in the moment. You know how they're going to react. The world revolves around them. If you're a strong owner, you can handle that. If you have an ego problem, you're out. You're done.
You're out.
You're fucking cut.
And I've said this, I'm so glad you said that, because that is just one of my biggest pet peeves in this business. And egos will kill you faster than a bullet. And I say it to everybody, and I've worked for and I've been through so many different businesses where the ownership is built on ego, and it's, I don't care that. And listen, you're the owner. You're entitled to want to do things your way. I totally respect that. And if you don't like it, see you later. This is my place. But when it comes to the sacrifice to the customer and not your staff, it's one thing to talk to your staff and say, I know what's best, but it's another thing to not give the customer what they want because you don't want it. And that's the most frustrating thing to me in this business is you have to say, you want to know what? I don't agree with this decision or why. Like, it's like if someone calls and says, oh, I want anchovies and garlic and extra sauce and all this on the pizza, and you go, that's disgusting. You don't want that. No, that's what I want. Give them what they want. You know what I mean? Educate the customer, but give them what they want at the end of the day. And that's what it should be built on. It should be built on just giving the customer what they want. Serving a good product and giving good customer service.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, I agree. You know, I will also say that at times you have to fire customers. You do.
Yeah, no,
You
no,
do.
100%.
Especially, and I'm notorious for this. I will fire a customer if it is belittling and angry and violent towards my staff.
Oh, 100%. You have
You
to
fuck with my people, you're the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you have to stand up for your staff.
You have
I
to.
understand. There's always a line.
There is a line.
There always is a line.
You know, the customer is right for the most part, and
Right.
it is easy to understand how the customer thinks.
Yep.
But I believe if it gets to a really nasty, disrespectful type
Hey man,
thing,
I grew up in the bar business. You're preaching to the choir on that one.
you know, you gotta let them go. And you don't have to be mean about it, but hey, listen, unfortunately, we just can't have you back here.
Yeah.
You know, and you just let them be.
Right.
And you deal with the pushback if needed, but always, 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 always protect your fucking staff.
Yep.
Always. And one of the coolest things that I've been able to see over the course of all these years myself personally is when the staff starts to realize that
You have their back.
you have their back, they feel safe.
Mhm.
You know?
And then they want to work for you, and then they
Yeah.
want to do good for you. The thing
Right.
about that is when you do good for them, and when you have those situations, and you that really test your mettle, and you show them that you're there for them and that you're going to look out for them, then they want to do good for you.
Yeah.
They don't feel obligated just because they're getting paid. Then they actually genuinely want to do good for you.
Yeah.
You know, at least you would hope. You know.
Yes, and there's always going to be situations to where we're manipulated as owners.
Oh, 100%.
You know, it just
Yeah.
as long as you do good, usually good comes back to you.
Yeah.
And you're right. You do good. You put out good product. You treat your people well. Your business will grow.
Mhm.
You know, it's not that complicated. You
Nope.
just really have to care. And speaking of caring, I think caring is really associated in business in passion.
Mhm.
Is something that really accentuates how much you care, and
Yeah.
it really shows how good a product is. I know a lot of owners that have no passion, but I also know owners that have passion. And you know, I'm venturing to guess that you have passion for your business and your
100%.
product.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that you say that because passion could work against you. You know what I mean? Also, you know, sometimes when you care so much about something, you let emotions get the best of you.
Absolutely.
And I've learned that. I still work on it, and I struggle with it sometimes.
Oh, we all do.
I'm human.
Yeah.
You know, but when you care so much about something, you let those little negative things kind of work your mind a little bit, and then you kind of lose your cool for sometimes. And, but you have to love what you do because that's temporary. I mean, you could do something for the money, or because it suits your financial, perspective, or you live close, or it suits other options of your life, or you get nights off. You know how many people that I talk to in a day that just say, "Oh, it's nice. I make decent money. I have nights off, weekends off, whatever." It's just so short-lived, man.
That's average.
Yeah, it is, and that's a sad thing. Is that
Our society deems average as normal.
correct?
Wow.
But also,
It's fucking pathetic.
Yeah, but also where we're at right now is there's so few people that just see what they want and just go get it. So few people have that drive, and there's always those questions like, oh, what if I fail? What if I this? Like, I ask myself those questions every day. What if I didn't do this? But nothing that I have done has ever led me in a position to where I'm like, I've taken chances. I've also stayed in my comfort zone for years, and it wasn't until I decided to say, well, you know what, I'm just going for it, that things changed. But you have to love what you do. Otherwise, it's a means to an end. You're just an hourglass, And in this business, what brings me joy, what's a passion for my life is if I can provide a service that makes you happy and you leave my storefront or wherever I'm at with a smile on your face, it makes me happy.
Yeah, and everyone's going to talk about you.
Yeah. And I genuinely do enjoy talking with customers. People come in, people come in for donuts. How's your day? What are you up to? Where are you headed? How's life? Where do you work? I enjoy that. I don't do that because I'm trying to church someone up or I'm trying to make someone feel special. I genuinely enjoy that. I enjoy that conversation.
Yeah, being the best part of their day.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you have to, I enjoy that, and I have a passion for food, obviously. My girlfriend, it's funny, because whenever we go out to someplace new, and I see how well it's run, just from a restaurant perspective, and I see how organized it is, I'm watching every operation and how they work down to the little tiny detail. And she's just like, you are in your element right now, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, because I'm watching, like, I'm like, this is what it should be. And I love seeing that happen. And I've just developed an ear and an eye for it just because I've been in the restaurant business and food business my whole life, that when I see that an operation, when it's busy and how tight it's run and proper management, it's just, it's a cool thing to see. Because you don't see it too often.
You know, the words that are coming out of your mouth seem very familiar. I do the same fucking thing.
Like yours?
Same fucking thing.
Yeah, like you're going to another gym and you're like, oh.
I'm the biggest critic in gyms.
Yep.
But restaurants, I'm also a huge critic because I think personally restaurants need three things.
3/4.
Customer service, ambiance, and food.
Mm-hmm.
All three have to be firing on all cylinders for me to show up.
Yep.
I'll go to different restaurants and try. You know, for instance, I won't use any names. A new restaurant opened downtown New Haven. I'm a New Haven guy, and it's supposed to be pretty classy. And I wasn't even served water for over 10 minutes when I first sat down, and there was only 3 other tables out of 20.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personnel problem.
Yep.
Like, your management is not in place.
Yep.
Also, my steak came out cold. So at this point, the manager's coming over to the table trying to smooze me, buy me drinks and shit, and I'm just like, I just want to eat. Like, you know? That type of situation could be a one-time mistake, could not be.
Right.
But that happens one time in a restaurant, a lot of people won't come back.
Yep.
To include me.
And you know what the hard thing is? I forget the number on it, but there's a very high percentage. I want to say it's 70 to 80 customers that are dissatisfied in any way. 70 to 80% will not say anything. They just won't go back. And I've worked for so many people that have said, well, no, I don't get any complaints on it. I don't get any complaints on it. And a lot of times you won't. People in general don't like confrontation unless you get like that one big bold guy or pissed off somebody that had a bad day and they want to ream you out for it. But a lot of people just won't go back. I've done it. I've been in this business for a long time, and I know how it is to be on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I have that understanding, sometimes I'm like, oh no, that place is terrible. But I won't do it for a simple, like, something little was wrong. But if like you just boulder dash me with just mess up after mess up after mess up, like I'm not coming back. Because that just shows a lack of leadership, it shows a lack of management, it shows a lack of discipline, lack of care. I don't know.
And on the other hand is if you have a good product and you have a good establishment, your customers do all your marketing for you.
Right.
So, I'm very similar in the sense that I try to engage all of my customers. Sometimes we have like 500 through the door a day.
That's awesome.
And there's a lot of people. And I give them my time and interaction, even if it's just a fist bump, and get them fucking fired up.
Yep.
They're here to work out.
Yeah.
And if you keep your current customers happy, they'll sit down and talk about you.
Yeah.
If fitness or gym or whatever comes up, they're going to be like, oh, I go train at CW. And that's how everybody comes in here, is because they have friends. How did you hear about us? My friend. My friend, my friend, my
Word
friend.
of mouth is your best friend.
Your word of mouth is your best friend, and if you just treat your customers well like you do, they're going to tell all their friends.
Yeah.
And that's it. Now, you can't satisfy everyone.
No, of
but
course.
If 90% of people that are coming through the door or are happy with your service, they're going to tell their friends. When people are sitting down at dinner and they're talking about dessert, they could be talking about you.
Yeah.
And they talk about breakfast, they could be talking about you.
Yeah.
And your name and your brand are being talked about. And, there's byproducts of that, like social media and shit, but word of mouth is where it starts and ends.
Yeah.
You gotta treat your customers right.
It's funny that you say that about being in the gym and, just something as small as a fist bump to get people, because in your line of business, people need to be fired up to work out, in a sense. People want to get a little motivated, they need a little bit of energy. And in my line of business, sometimes in the morning, I'm the first thing that you're doing throughout your day. Like you wake up and you come to Blazing Fires Donuts, and I have the potential to set your tone for the rest of the day. So whether I don't want you to have a bad experience, my goal is to make you have a great experience, leave with a smile on your face, and set you up to have a great day. And that's what it should be about. But
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not always the case.
Well, it's not, but those are the small pieces.
Yeah.
To do the best you can. I mean, I could fire everybody up and just talk to people and give them my time all I can, but, fundamentally, if they're just not happy from within, I mean, you can't control that.
Right.
But I agree with you a lot on that. I think a big question that everyone wants to know, to include me, is what makes you different than Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right, if I had sleeves, I'd roll them up for this. So basically, we are a custom made to order donut shop, and it's something that is just introduced to Connecticut, and I can't say quote me on it because I don't know for sure, but I'm 90% sure that we're the only operation that's doing it in the state as of the moment. So
what are they called? And Shelton doesn't do it? Donut Crazy?
No, they make, they're, I wouldn't say that they're, I don't know how they make them or when they prepare them, but we actually make them to order. So, Chris, let's say you come in and you say, I'd like a dozen donuts. They're dropped out of a hopper, they're fried in palm oil, 45 seconds aside, they're served to you warm. And you could customize them however you want, you could decorate them however you like. You could choose one frosting, as many toppings and drizzles as you'd like. We have a wall of all the customer favorites and staff favorites. We have seasonal favorites, and just the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
So you get your donuts in it takes about 90 seconds to fry donuts. So an additional maybe a couple minutes to decorate them, depending on how intricate you are. Or if you want, like our gourmet donuts, tend to take a little bit extra time. But if you want something as simple as powdered sugar glaze, those are super, super quick. But you're not looking at more than 5 minutes for about a dozen.
Wow.
So, and when you eat them in the store, they're top notch. I mean, they stay fresh for 24 hours, so they're good for a day. But to eat them warm, I mean, if you think about it, when's the last time you had a warm donut? Ever?
No, I've had a warm donut.
Fair?
No, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Street. There's I'm trying to remember the name of it. There's a hugely popular donut place down there, but it's just powder.
Yeah.
Just a powdered donut.
There's a lot of people.
But it's warm.
Yeah. There's a few operations outside the state that make them to order, but I believe we're the only one in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do as a business is kind of like almost reinvent the donut and bring it back to what it should be. People are, and I'm not in any way slamming Dunkin', but you're getting their donuts out of a box truck that have been sitting for 2 days, and they don't make them on site. You can't customize them however you want. You come into my shop, if you have let's say your 3-year-old has a Toy Story themed birthday party, I'm gonna research Toy Story themed donuts and I'm gonna make them look Toy Story for it, And we have the luxury to do that because we have control over the entire operation. Whereas when you're outsourcing to somebody else and they're being made in like an outside kitchen and brought there, you're serving what you get, and that's it. So
Dunkin' is, I think, known for donuts and coffee.
Yeah.
But it's just a completely different actual product, if I'm understanding you correctly.
Yes. Yep. Completely different. So there's yeast donuts, and ours are vanilla cake based, so it's a little bit. It's not as dry. It's not like you're eating air. They're a little bit like heavy, but also light. You had one.
I did. Yeah, I had the Reese's peanut butter cup.
That's my favorite one.
That was quite a good donut. Marion, did you have one?
Yeah.
Which one did you have?
The s'mores one.
I don't think they can hear you.
The s'mores one.
The s'mores one. Was it good?
It was amazing. It was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was actually, since we're on the topic of Dunkin', I was actually surprised to see how much smaller your donut looked than theirs, per se.
Yeah, ours are about, I want to say maybe an inch smaller than Dunkin' is in diameter. Ours are 3 inch. They're made that way because we don't want to have a donut be made as a meal. It's a small snack you're having with your coffee. You can have one. And the good thing about it is when we have the dozen and people bring it to one of their parties or their office parties, you have a nice variety of everything, and people can kind of pick, and they don't eat one and, or be full. So
Yeah. How many calories approximately do you think?
In ours?
Yeah.
None. It's flavored air.
That's a good one. We'll have to program that into my Fitness Pal.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't guess.
I would say, now I've been around I've been around nutrition for quite some time now. I would say that your donut was probably in the 200 to 400 range, maybe a touch more.
I would say 3.
Maybe.
It all depends. I mean, honestly, if you get like a plain glaze or if you get like a Cookie Monster, you're looking at Oreos, you're looking at
Right.
marshmallow and chocolate drizzle.
That one
So-
sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Did you bring one of those?
I did not.
No.
I said to the my staff, I said, just make me 6 of whatever. So
Yeah.
pick and choose. I'm gonna bring them. So, but
Yeah.
to go back to your question about I just want to piggyback off what you said about what makes us different. Aside from a product perspective about what makes us different, what we try to stress is customer engagement, customer satisfaction, and making people leave happy. And one of the ways we do that is we have a big me and Jody set a big precedent on when the customer walks through the door, immediately engage them. Because there's a lot of people that walk in and they look for a donut case and they don't see one and they get confused and they're like, wait a minute, I thought this was a donut shop, and they kind of like start to back up, and then, so we have to engage that customer immediately and, kind of say like, oh, hey, have you been in here before? Let me explain to you how this works. So it's customer interaction, they bring their kids, the kids can have fun and build their own donut. What we want to do is create a transaction to where it's emotional and not just physical. I don't want people to come into my store and just say, here's $1.50, I'll take that one, thank you, see you later, bye-bye. What I stress to my staff is talk to people, engage with people, ask them about their day, and they're awesome at it. I have a really, really great staff there. They do an awesome job with that, and it makes people feel special and people leave. We have so many reviews on Yelp. We have like a 4.8 on Yelp. We have a 4.8 on Facebook.
Wow.
And a lot of the reviews are say like, your staff is so helpful, so patient, what amazing staff you have. That's important.
Mhm.
That's super important to me, because it's so hard to find good help, and when you have it, you have to treat them right. So
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing here.
yeah,
And we got to talk to the customer. Got to talk to your customers.
Yeah.
If you don't talk to your customers will go elsewhere.
yeah,
How simple is it just to say hello to someone?
yeah.
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
And it's not. I mean, you're in customer service. You have to leave your day at the door. And so many people, I myself struggle with it sometimes. I'm a guy who wears my emotion on my sleeve sometimes. Sometimes when I'm not happy, you'll know it. Sometimes when I'm really happy, you'll know when I'm in a good mood.
Mhm.
But you have to check those emotions when you come into work, because you have to remember what industry you're in. You're in the customer service business, and not only that, you're in hospitality.
Mm.
Your job is to serve a good product and take care of people.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let leave your stuff at home.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I can't agree with you more. And listen, no one's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. And you know what? When I make a mistake, I lose my off-centeredness. For the most part, I'm pretty fucking centered, right? Like, more so than the majority of people I know.
Yep.
But the point is, if I lose my center or make a mistake in the sense of I can show my emotion,
Mhm.
the first thing I do is immediately recognize it and apologize to whoever it's in front of, to include staff, and if it is the situation, customers.
Mhm.
Never in front of customers. But we're not like bulletproof.
Yeah.
We deal with a lot, but at the same time, if we ever make a mistake, I think it's really important as an owner to recognize it, apologize,
100%.
own it.
Yeah.
Not just mistakes in front of your staff, but mistakes made completely around your entire business.
Yep. It's like when somebody orders something and they say, no, I got this instead, or I got 2 donuts instead of 1, or are you sure? Because I only had 1 here. Well, there's only 1 on the ticket, and I see people do that all the time. I don't care if they're making it up. Just apologize.
Right.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Let me get you another one.
Right.
You're not here to kind of play judge and jury about who's right and who's wrong.
Right. Yeah.
The customer, like say a client comes to you and say, oh, why is my membership expired? I ordered a year. I'm really sorry, I only have you on for 6 months. Yeah, but I ordered a year. Oh, I'm so sorry, I'll get that contract and we'll fix it for you.
Mhm.
What's the point in arguing about it? What are you going to argue for?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But solving problems for your customer is also extremely important.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really as simple as it really needs to be. And I had a situation. I think it was yesterday. God, days blend, man.
I know.
My friend down
We're both
this-
up early.
yeah, I'm up at 5 every day.
Same.
Even the weekends, like every single day, I'm up at 5. Yeah,
I'm on a clock now, right? I don't want to be, but sometimes I am. But.
yeah. But my friend down the street, she's a branch manager of the local bank.
Okay.
She signed her son up here, and her son got into an accident at one point, and asked me to put the membership on hold and hold the billing. And then it got to the point to where he needed to cancel his membership back in August. So once I got that communication, I gave it to someone on my staff to do. I got a text from her yesterday, I believe it was either yesterday or the day before, saying, hey, listen, my son's membership is still being billed. What's going on? I thought you canceled it. Now, did I technically make the mistake? I believe so. Yes, there's user error on the staff. It slipped through, someone forgot, whatever it might be. But I am my company.
At the end, it's always on
made
you.
the mistake.
Yeah.
It's me. And I find that the most successful people that I know are able to take responsibility for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
And my staff is my responsibility.
Yep.
So I went ahead and made sure it was now canceled, and then found how much money I owed her. She's at the bank, so I got the cash out of the bank, put it in an envelope, and handed it to her. I apologize. That's my mistake. Let me make this right. Here's your refund in full. Please let me know if you have any more problems. I'd love to fix them. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. And being able to admit mistake is huge.
Ego.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, we all had to learn at some point that our ego was in the way of our progress.
And I did when I was younger. I remember when I was younger, I was never wrong.
Oh,
and sometimes I still struggle with it.
Yeah.
But back in the day, I would be like, no, are you sure that doesn't mean that? Are you sure that, even though I knew in my head that I was wrong and someone just called me out. But, I've learned and I've grown up a little bit, and you have to learn to just say, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Oh, I didn't even think of it that way. Yeah, you're totally right. And it goes with it all life. You're never gonna get anywhere thinking you're the best at everything. It's all about being humble. You have to be humble sometimes.
I think you got to be humble all the time.
Yeah.
And I believe there's a huge difference between arrogance, cockiness,
Nice.
and confidence.
Yeah.
It's very easily mistaken.
Yeah.
And most people that mistake it don't have confidence.
Mm-hmm.
The most unconfident people think others are arrogant and confident.
Mm-hmm.
But my explanation to it is, if you were so sure that you knew the answer to the situation most of the time throughout the day, wouldn't you be confident too?
Yeah.
Because I am.
Yeah.
Oh, and if I make a mistake, great. I know how to admit it. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, let me realize where I made a mistake. I just lost $5,000. Time to fucking fix that so it doesn't happen again.
Yep.
You push the ego aside. You understand now, even though you're confident, you still make mistakes. You learn, you move on, next step.
Yeah. And you can't let it destroy you.
No.
You can't let those things take a piece out of you, because everybody's human and you make mistakes, and that's you don't grow unless you make mistakes.
Of course. Very well said. Very well said. I'm quickly realizing we're on the same page about business.
Good.
And it's a breath of fresh air, because I'm sure owners that might not be on the same page.
Yeah.
And it's nice to hear that, excuse me, some ethics and morals and self-awareness is in place.
Yeah.
And I really want to be able to have you be found if they wanted to find you. So, you're downtown Guilford. You're on Church Street.
Yep, 16 Church Street.
16 Church
right
Street.
At the base of the green in Guilford. So.
Fuck yeah, G-Town baby, class of 2003. Now, if they were to find you on social media, where would they find you?
Oh, so we're kind of, I manage all our social media accounts, and I'm kind of everywhere. I just created a Snapchat for the business, and I thought twice about it, and I'm like, I'm creating a Snapchat. And I started randomly adding people, and what I mean? Some people will be like, who's this? I'm like, oh, it's a business. They're like, oh, where is it? Like, oh, it's donuts in Guilford. And I'll post pictures of our product, and people are like, wait, where is this, man? I have to come now. And I'll send them the address, but we have a great Instagram and Facebook following. Facebook is Blazing Fresh Donuts, simple. Instagram is at Blazing Fresh Donuts, so can't be confused with anything else.
So it's Blazing Fresh Donuts on Facebook
Correct.
and at Blazing Fresh Donuts on Instagram.
Correct.
Any other socials?
Nope. Facebook. Snapchat.
Yep.
Blazing Fresh Donuts.
Okay.
Website blazingfreshdonuts.com.
So you can't fuck it up.
You can't.
All right.
We don't want to make it that way.
All right.
And our tagline is they're a BFD. I don't know if you saw that.
No, what is it?
Oh, I get it.
Blazing Fresh Donuts, they're a BFD.
Oh yeah, now I get it.
That's open to interpretation, but it stands for Blazing Fresh Donuts.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah, I guess that can go a few different ways. Huh?
Yeah, could go.
Well, guys, you can find me on Instagram at ChrisWarns1. You can find me on Facebook, Christopher Warns. I always forget what my YouTube channel is, the CW Clinic.
Yeah.
The CW?
No.
No. CW Clinic.
Yeah.
Not the CW Clinic. You know how to get at me, but I want to take a moment and just thank Dave. I know I thanked you, but I really am grateful that you're giving us your time to
Of course,
come in.
man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you getting me on.
Yeah. I mean, I firsthand know how hard it is when you're an owner-operator to get up, leave your business.
Yeah.
Let's strenuate, let's stress that. Leave your business.
Yeah.
Especially 5 months in.
Mm-hmm.
You're here in the afternoon, so thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you for your time, man, and I really appreciate you giving me your insight on these topics. And, I really wish you the utmost, I hate the word luck, but success.
Yeah.
In
thank you, man. I
the time to
appreciate it.
come.
You as well.
I hope you guys blow up.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah, and I think everyone here should check Dave out. Check out Blazing Fresh Donuts, BFD, and get some fucking donuts. And do you have any final words? You want to say anything?
I just thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for bringing me on here. Thanks to everyone, who took the time to listen and kind of, find a little bit more out about business. But, just to close out, we're a custom-made order donut shop. We're at 16 Church Street, right at the base of the green. We do weddings. We do custom catering. We have a donut wall for rent. We have 10 different frostings. We have 20 different toppings, different dessert drizzles. The combinations are endless. So we serve fresh made-to-order donuts in minutes, and we'd love to see it come down.
Awesome. Again, Dave, thank you. And I guess the closing words for today are treat people well, and your business will grow.
And yeah, customer service and product.
Yeah.